So far, we have discussed role-based authorization. We have also discussed the claim-based authorization. In claim-based authorization, we have shown you two approaches, one inline and another one is the policy-based. But in most of the real-time or you can say modern application, you cannot use only role-based authorization. You cannot go with only claim-based authorization. So most of modern applications, they need a hybrid approach. A hybrid approach means it is going to combine both role-based authentication authorization as well as the claim-based authorization or you can say authentication. So what is a hybrid approach? Hybrid approach means it uses both of the best. What is the best from role-based authorization? What is the best from the claim-based authorization? Both are going to be used by the hybrid approach. In this case, roles is going to describe who the user is. Claims is going to describe what they can do within the system. So let us proceed and understand how we can. So we have already discussed how to implement role-based authentication. So what you need to do, you have to create one, you have to use the authorize attribute and you need to specify roles and whatever the roles. And that is what we have already discussed in our role-based authorization. And in claim-based authorization, what you need to do, you need to create the claims, right? Or you can say you need to create the policy. And once you define the policy, then you need to apply the authorize attribute along with the policy and the policy name. That is what we have already also discussed. Now what I'm going to discuss, I'm going to discuss the combined approach. Combined approach means, for example, let assume in this case, for example, my requirement is, right, for some of the, what I can say, method, not only the user having, for example, for the delete functionality, delete user. So my requirement is delete user is a sensitive operation. So what is my requirement? My requirement, the user must have the delete user claim, but at the same time, the user must be a admin user. If the user is not admin, then he cannot perform the delete user operation. Again, if the user is admin but he doesn't have the delete user claim, then he cannot perform the delete operations. Similarly, managing roles is also very sensitive operation. So what is our requirement? Our requirement, the user must belong to the admin role, and at the same time, the user must have all the three roles. I mean all the three claims. All the three claims means add, update, and delete. If these three claims are there, then he can manage the roles. So if you want to apply such kind of what I can say complex validations on your applications, like which is going to be combined both the role-based authorization plus the claim-based authorization, then what is the best approach? The best approach is the hybrid approach. So this hybrid approach, how to implement, let us proceed and see in our example. The same example, what I'm going to do, please observe here. So in this case, whatever the required claim, you can apply admin manager. So this is going to be the, sorry, required role. The role must be admin manager. Anyone is fine. Required claim. So here you can say permission, add user and edit user. So in this case, so here I'm creating one policy called manage users policy. So this policy, wherever I apply, that policy will ensure the user must have at least either admin role or manager role. Any role is required. Again, at the same time, the policy will ensure the user must have the add user claim and edit user claim. If user not belongs to any of this and any of this, then he cannot access the system. So this kind of right complex right what I can say authorization decision only possible by using the hybrid approach. So now what I'm going to discuss. I'm going to discuss some hybrid approach. One policy I'm going to create view users policy. What exactly this policy is going to do? It will grant access to admins manager. So admin user, they can access and the manager users, I mean admin, if the user belongs to admin or if the user belongs to manager, they can access wherever this policy is applied. If the even if the user not belongs to admin, not belongs to manager, even if the user having this view users claim, he can also access. I mean what you can see. The complexity you can try to understand. The complexity is that if the user belongs to admin role, he can access. If the user belongs to manager role, he can access. If the user not belongs to admin, not belongs to manager, but this user having this view user's claim, then also he can access the resource. So that is what we are going to create one claim. So this claim is clear.
Yes.
Okay. So now again, what I need to do, add user policy. So again, similar to this view users policy. So what is my requirement? Add user policy means if the user is admin, he can access. Otherwise, if the user having either this add user or edit user claim, then they can also access the resources. So clear. So in this case, both admin and manager they can view. But here, if the user is admin, he can access the policy. I mean the resources. Otherwise, if the user having this claim, they can access. But if the user not admin, if the user not having this two claim, but the user is manager, then in that case he cannot access the resources. Clear? Clear or not?
Yeah.
Now, again, I want to create another policy called a delete user policy. So what is this policy is going to do? Now, it will ensure the user must be in admin role and the user must have the delete user claim. If anyone is missing, then he cannot access. It must be admin role. It must have the delete user claim. Similarly, I want to create another policy that is manage users policy. So this policy means it is going to decide admin can manage a users, but specific claims also qualify. It must be admin and any right any users who are having this edit user and manage user claims, they can also manage the user. Similarly, manage roles policy. It's a very sensitive resource. So what I need to do? We need to enforce, right? We need to enforce that the user must belongs to admin role plus the user must have all these three claims. If any of this claim is missing, and if the user not belongs to admin role, then he cannot access this, right? He cannot access the resources. Manage users claims policy. So in this case, admin they can manage, right? Or users with manage user claims, they can also access this endpoint. So admin can access any user, whoever having this manage user claims, they can also access this endpoint. So this kind of a complex policies we can define using a hybrid approach. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let us proceed and define this in our project. So let me go ahead, go to the program class file, and in the program class file, please update this code. Now, let us try to understand. So here you can see what I'm doing here. I'm creating one policy called a view users policy, and as I'm going to provide multiple conditions, I have to use this required assertion. And here, what I'm checking, please observe. So what type of operator is this, guys?
Or
Or operator means what? Means if the user having this admin role, or if the user having this manager role, or if the user having this view user claim, they can write for this user, this policy is fine. Clear? If the user having any one of this, then he can access the resource. This first policy is clear.
yes.
So this is add user policy. The user is belongs to admin, or if the user having this add user claim, then he can access the resource. Similar to this add user, I'm having this edit user. User must be right if the user is admin, or if the user having this edit user claim, then he can right access the resource. Here you can see the user, this is delete user policy. The user role must be admin and means both needs to be satisfied and most of the delete user claim. So this is manage users policy. If the admin or edit user role, or sorry, edit user claim or manage user claims. If any of this one is there, then he can access the resource. Manage roles policy. Here you can see the user must be in admin role and the user must have all these, what I can say, claims. If not, then they cannot access. So this is manage user claims policy. If the user having this admin role or having this claims, then they can access this manage claims policy. So see, this is the example what I provided. And as per your requirement, what you need to do, you can create these policies, right? As per your requirement. Now, now what I need to do, right? Once these policies are defined, next what I need to do, I need to apply these policies, right? So where to apply which policy? Let us proceed and understand this thing directly. So let me go to the right, copy this code, and then I will show you how these policies are being applied. So now the policy what we implemented, it is the hybrid approach. Not only checking the claims, but also we are checking and validating the user roles. Policy is going to be same. The way we apply the policy in the previous example, same. So authorize whatever the policy, view user policy, add user policy. So this is going to be edit user policy. So view users policy. This is delete user policy. Again, you can see this is going to be manage roles policy. And finally, that manage user claims policy. Now, if you want to do some changes, right? For a changes means if you want to add some more claims to the policy, if you want to remove some claims from the policy, if you want to add some roles to the policy, remove roles from the policy, your application code is going to be unchanged. Whatever the controller you define, they are going to be untouched. Where you need to do the changes, you need to go to the program class and you have to do the changes in a single place. So that flexibility is going to be achieved using this approach. Clear? Clear or not?
Yep.
Yes.
So that's fine. Again, right, what you need to do, we can also apply these policies at the, right, what I can say, uh,
View.
I'm right at the view level. So let me go ahead and create these things. So go to the index view. So instead of this thing, so let me go ahead and create these things. So these things I have applied here. Now you can see whatever the right permissions, whatever you require, everything is managed there. So I'm getting some error. Okay, so that complete code I have not copied. Okay. Okay. So the logic is going to be same. Now we are checking the same policy, and that policy is going to contain the logic to check both role and user. And the rest of the code, it is going to be unaffected, unchanged. Same logic it is going to work. Right now, let me run the application and see whether this policy-based authorization is working as expected or not. Let me run the application. So, okay, so always try to log out and log in so that updated policy information are going to be available. I mean, the updated claims information. See, you can see all the buttons are visible. Now, let me log out and log in one more using the other user which doesn't have all the permissions. Test at the rate 1234. See, you can see this is the rest. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So what is the difference? Difference means role-based authorization is going to give you high-level authorization. Means what? It is going to grant access based on the group membership. Roles are simple to manage and are best for defining a high-level access like admin and user. Claim-based authentication means it is detailed and specific. Means what? Like it allows a decision based on the specific attribute or permissions which is assigned to a user, and the claims are more precise but require more careful management. So basically, short answer is right, roles answer who are you in the system, while claims answer what you can do within the system. Right. So this is all about our what I can say hybrid approach, and this is also